Let me give you a concept again. The concept of actually carving a decoy is taking something that's square and making it round. Okay? I mean, look at round sides, you know, round back. And so we're taking this square block that we've cut from the overhead pattern. We've done a lot of trimming on this. We cut the profile off. You know, you really start to trim down the body with the bandsaw to get it to just about the shape of a duck, and then the finishing steps on it are really taking this down to where it's round. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? We're going to start with the knife family, and if you remember, I talked about, you know, getting that midline on the body, and then I'm going to carve this way and carve that way from that midline. The nice thing about knives is you can push them or pull them. Here's a classic draw knife. This happens to actually be my great-granddad's. This is probably made, boy, between his decoys and mine, this has made a lot of decoys. Thousands of them, actually. And, you know, they used to use these to strip bark off of trees and actually plane down wood. But it's a good way to remove and hog, what I would call hog, a lot of wood off a decoy block. So again, one of the things I want to reiterate is stay out of this seat of the neck area right here. Remember, that's where we're going to have our head. That's all a good glue surface. We need to stay out of there. So just a reminder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this knife and I'm going to start, see how that just kind of shaves? I'm kind of pulling the blade down about like a violinist would do with a violin bow, and I'm pulling it down and I'm just shaving wood off a little bit at a time. See how it's just kind of, this is a good one to pull. It's a little bit awkward. It doesn't do real refined work. And instead of just pulling one at a time, I'm going to get a rhythm going where I'm actually leaving it on here. I'm pushing it back and pulling. And you want to use as much as the blade as you can. You want to slice it instead of just pull little chunks. Okay? So let me stop talking and let me do a little work here. You see how that's starting to round there a little bit? I mean, it's still pretty rough, but it's starting to round. So I can get that side there. I can undo my block, pull it over to this side here, tighten her up. Now I can do this side. Okay, that's about as much as I'm really going to be able to pull off with that draw knife. Let's go ahead and set that aside. One of my favorite tools is a spoke shave. Absolutely love them. You could basically carve an entire decoy with a spoke shave. This is really more of a pushing tool. Pauly Rutgers makes these. They're real handy. You can get your thumbs here, you can get your forefingers here, and basically what I'm going to do is, let me slide this over a little bit so you can see the left side. I'm going to carve that left side first. Get it off the bench a little bit. And I'm going to push this. You can hear that kind of shushing sound. That means you're getting good wood there. That means you're getting good wood. You're shaving nice and easy. Pauly makes a little smaller version. This one is good. It's got good grips here. And again, what I'm doing is I'm rounding. Okay? I'm rounding. It's a real testimony of these knives because I'm using balsa here and it's doing a great job of cutting it. The nice thing about spoke shaves is they're very forgiving. It's pretty hard to screw up with a spoke shave unless you get too far back here and actually cut against the grain. Then it can take out a little bit, but even then it doesn't take out a whole bunch. Okay, so you can kind of see there, I've kind of got that to where it's kind of getting down to round, okay? It's rounding, all right? So now I'm gonna flip over to this side here and do this side. Here's a key. When you're using a knife like this, as you become more experienced, you got to kind of know what wood to take off and what wood to leave. Okay? So your eyes are just a step ahead of where your hands are at. Okay? My eyes are just barely a step ahead, looking to go where to go to take off the next piece of wood. They're traveling just a little bit ahead of my hands. Alright, let's call that good for right now. You can kind of see, you see how that kind of rounded? You know, starting to come down here. But now if you look at the sides, I still got these hard ridges here. So let's work on them. I got to round them. This is where that brace is going to allow me to get away from my bench a little bit. Okay, I got this 8-inch brace. It takes the block away from my bench. So instead of being up tight here to my bench. Alright, so what this will do is now this hard edge in here, see all this hard edge? All that's got to come out. It's all got to round, okay? Because my end game is all this needs to round, you know? I want to round up in here. I got all these hard edges. They all got to go, okay? So let's get rid of them. Easy to do. Hear that scraping noise? It's the music of a spoke shave. You know you're making good chips when you can hear that scraping noise. Sometimes your grain is a little bit finicky. It changes, you know, it could be further back than what you think. Like this is funny because this is allowing me to carve up in here good, but it's starting to split there. So you just gotta adjust to it, and just know that if you're getting a little deep, back off a little bit. Okay, so kind of rounded there. Let's flip over and jump and do this side. Kind of same drill. Rounding. And I'm even doing a little bit of contour on that bottom. Not a lot, but just a little. Because keep in mind, if I bring that bottom in a little bit, it's going to give me more round here. Okay? So I'm just bringing that bottom in just a hair. Maybe 1/4 of an inch. Into the bottom of the decoy. Spoke shave is a very traditional tool. I know carvers that, I got a friend that's an Illinois River carver. He essentially carves that entire block with a spoke shave. It's a pleasurable tool to use, and it's one that's very forgiving. You just really tough to screw up. Really tough to take off too much wood with a spoke shave. You probably get tired before you do that, before you take off too much wood. So here I got this side, okay? Excuse me. Rounded here, rounded here, rounded here. Okay, if you remember back, we were real square. Now we're getting into rounding. Now we've got to come in and, like I said, we got these hard edges here. All that needs to come off. All that's blocky and all that doesn't make a good decoy. So let's get rid of it. I'll start on this side actually, so you can kind of see it. Okay, so I got this ridge here I want to get rid of. Now I'm going to push. Remember, my block, my midline's here. This had to get pulled this way. Now this is going to get carved that way, okay? So I'm just going to push in the direction of that arrow. Okay? The bottom a little bit. Oh boy, it's coming off like butter. It's coming off like butter. It's a pleasure to carve good wood. Decoy carving, I tell you, good wood makes all the difference. My encouragement to you is wood is a lot of times the carver's biggest challenge is finding good wood, good head wood and good body wood. But my encouragement to you would be whether you're starting out or whether you've been carving for years, carve good wood. It just makes it a pleasurable experience versus not. So I got in there and I rounded, okay? Now I'm gonna do the same to this side. See the difference there? I rounded, round, and now I'm still square here. Let's put this side in here and carve it. Again, my eyes are traveling just a little bit ahead of my hands. While it's finishing that last stroke of taking that slice of wood off, that sliver of wood, my eyes are just a step ahead of it, looking for that next spot to put it, looking for those high spots. Let me pause there and share something with you. I use a lot of direct lighting when I'm carving. I mean, I've got direct lighting behind me, I've got direct lighting in front of me, and you might say, why all the lighting? Here's why. Is when I'm carving a block, I need to be able to see those high spots on that block, and I need to be able to see, you know, the shape of that body and the consistency and the symmetry and all that. It's so much easier with all that direct lighting to see all that. Without that direct lighting, you get shadows, you don't see things, and the disadvantage of that is you're going to have low spots, you're going to have irregular spots, and you won't see them until after you seal the bird. So I'm just encouraging you, get some direct lighting, get some desk lamps, get some direct lighting, get it on that block while you're carving it, okay? Alright, so at this point, we've taken the knife family and we've worked over the block pretty well. Might even do a little bit more here. I just looking into the light there, I noticed I've got a few high spots here I can get out with the draw knife, or the spoke shave. So let's do it. Let me do one more, and then I'm going to jump over to the rasp and the file family. So I've got some high spots here. These hard lines here, 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 here. Let's get rid of those. Let's round them. Okay. So I'm going to take that spoke shave, this tighter one, and get in there and just start working some of that out of there. Alright, see how that just kind of worked that out of there? Now I still have some flat spots in here. I really can't get those with these big knife blades. It's just too tight. This is too flat. So now we're going to jump over to files and files and rasps.